Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play Disco Elysium Part 11. In the previous video we became friends with the Kuno. Probably the main thing that happened. We are now best buds. We have learned that Kuno S is actually the insane one. And Kuno is...
I can't believe you didn't take the shot. Fucking coward. Waved a gun like a clown. Next time you point that shit at me, you better take the shot.
She continues to be here. All due to you being a coward and
Whoa,
not
whoa,
shooting.
whoa.
The contempt is thick enough to cut through with a knife.
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
Okay. I don't really know what we want to do now, because I don't know how to get over here. Nobody knows how to get over there. It can't be done. I can't go through the greenhouse or anything. I'm still... let's try and figure out how to get on the roof again. How do I talk to you, lady? The me of the past, I believe, was able to figure it out, but there's no stairs. Kim, there's no stairs. That or I just can't see them. I'm not very good with static backgrounds, to be honest. When it comes to perception. Did I get lost playing Final Fantasy VII? Yes. But thankfully that has the thing where it's like you can just put the little arrow that tells you where all the exits are. Like, because we can't do anything with this door.
The door is closed. This door, still, the lieutenant gives it. He doesn't like it.
Can't do anything with that. Can't talk to this door. There's nothing on the balcony. I do not see any stairs. I don't know how to get up there. Like I see no stairs. I see nothing to interact with. There's nothing on the balcony. No way. Ah, just lady. I don't know if we can like find a key to that door or what. Give me a key.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love those.
Why can't I go into the kitchen?
What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business.
Maybe I am a cook.
You're not. You're a menace. Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the real cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must.
Okay.
Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time sending someone to fix it. Losers.
Hey, you can't call people losers. That's my thing. Is it true there was foul play?
Who told you that?
I would never disclose my sources. That would be dishonorable.
Fine, yeah. It looked like someone had messed with the wiring. It was shortly after the hanging, but I don't know if it's at all related. Plenty of arseholes around here who aren't murderers. If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know, so I can forward them the repair bill.
Can I have a finder's
Yes.
fee? I don't need a drink. Oh, I just need some keys. After 1 p.m.? What do you mean, like... I can go in the kitchen whenever I want. You say anything? Oh, this guy's gone. Well, I think maybe he's only there at... later in the day? Like, I just don't know how to get over where they're talking about. Like, I don't even know how to get to the Weasel Man. I got no clue. Like, I look at my map and I'm like, this fucking doesn't mean anything to me. The door is behind the greenhouse, but how do I get behind the greenhouse? Like, I feel like I'm just missing something really obvious. And there was no alternate exit there. But like, I can't get back there. It's impossible. I just don't know how to get back there. What was your skill check? Was it composure?
Every snowflake
It was.
is like a little gift from the sky.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
Why do you keep your hands folded?
What do you mean, sir?
She knows where this is going.
No, you worry. I'm here to help.
She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain folded in front of her. She doesn't want to show them.
If there's child abuse going on, I will deliver a devastating super kick.
The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest. A facade of true professionalism. He is far more intrigued by the situation than his poise reveals.
I don't want to force her to do anything.
She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed, nearly chewed down to the flesh.
You bite your nails.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded?
It's super simple for a detective such as myself.
Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
What? Her eyes flash with defiance?
She actually is impressed. This is more like a defensive reflex.
You... Bet I can figure out why you bite your nails.
She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
Well, I mean, probably just because of your mother.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't.
Well, I hope this entertained you.
It was okay, sir.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
Fine, do better. To do something about me.
You're quite sober.
Wrong.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
And I'm having a grand time.
I sure hope you are, sir.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar.
We know the
somehow.
law, apparently.
Because you know each other. She's been talking to you so openly because you've talked before.
So you know me? We've met before?
Yes, I stand in this spot all the time.
She sways back and forth on her feet.
You've been running around all week without your shirt on, sir, apologizing to everyone. I don't really understand what you've done wrong.
I mean, we have a shirt. It's just see-through and mesh and cool and awesome, and you wouldn't get it. It's for adults. Did I ever talk to you?
Of course, you've stopped by a few times. You certainly look better than the last time I saw you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I can see. You don't have party eyes anymore.
Party eyes. Yes, of course. That makes sense.
I don't know what you're talking about. We don't do narcotics.
I'm not surprised children have seen you running around with party eyes on, he thinks.
I don't.
Not at
We
all.
know what party eyes are. We don't need to ask for clarification.
You know, like a cat in the dark, all big and wide-eyed. It certainly looks odd on a man.
Oh, what's that supposed to mean?
The swiveling eyes of a loony drug addict. That is what she meant. You were probably gurning too.
No, we don't gurn.
Fuck yeah. You should get some party eyes right now. Snap those sequins on you, boy.
Have I been partaking in narcotics?
Oh, baby. That's not what you have to worry about. Worry about the important thing.
Okay, but why didn't you tell me you knew me to begin with?
I didn't know I had to do that.
Thanks.
I'm glad I could help you, sir.
Hey, what about up here? Did we ever actually try and go over here? Maybe we can loop around. Oh, here we fucking go. I guess for some reason I thought that was like just the edge of the map. I guess because of like the fog of war or something? This still doesn't lead to where I need to go though, but we found something new. Wait, can I walk? Okay, that's how we get back here.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Probably not much point in going. Bro, I don't need magnesium, alright? I'm goated when it comes to mental health. I'm probably the most stable individual in all of Revachol. Ooh, suggestion and halfway?
Up here, Piggo.
I will not respond to that. Her name is Sir Piggy. Pigwalm, if you will. Prince Pigwalm. Your room in the whirling isn't much bigger than this sloop. It's worth more than you'll ever earn in all your life. He doesn't know I have $10.85. Shadows in the water. Green plants under the calm surface.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce.
Lady, how the hell am I supposed to shake your hand? What, you think I'm Stretch Armstrong? I'm gonna just go sting my hand, you know, 10 feet?
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board.
Oh,
of
you're the
Pines,
Wild Pines
the
lady.
owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
I was really thinking it was Lady on the Roof. But I guess she just works there? Oh, I don't know. What's the L stand for?
Peyton, my maiden name.
I shake her hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview.
Will we?
I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
Thanks.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief even.
What?
The lieutenant is hatching some scheme.
Not my Kimmy.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
Make me like COO, and then we'll talk. We need a bribe.
It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition, but she appears helpful.
You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
But not many people own a boat.
There is a pinch of defensiveness in her voice, but it is playful.
What do you mean archipelago?
I mean, we are on Le Caillou, are we not?
Still haven't seen anyone else on a sailboat.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Yeah, you tell him.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich.
Yes.
Before you do, it would be pertinent to ask other questions. Gather more info on this boat of hers.
Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
Just bump my mic.
The word "it" feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Your boat needs a name.
Okay. How about Cordelati 19? Why?
He taps on the side of the boat, it makes a hollow sound.
Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelati, and its hull is 19 paces long.
How about Dolores?
Why Dolores?
I don't know. It feels pretty. Not really, though.
Well, it means nothing to me. I think I'll stick with the factory name. But thank you for the suggestion.
What kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft. A
Ah.
19 pacer.
Pleasure craft.
It also happens to be
I
rated
got
for
you.
Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
Mainly, your ass is
sloop.
grass.
I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
Don't ever say that to me again.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Go for the kill. Okay, it did. I clicked on it. It didn't work. That means we're gonna click this instead.
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
Pleasure craft.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles.
I don't really know if this is the best idea to antagonize a lady before we ask her for information,
Her
but it's kind of fun.
might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly Fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
Let's talk about the economics.
Oh my, the E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption? That I'm a member of the ruling class?
Yes, exactly.
Detective, may I remind you that Mrs. Messier is a professional negotiator.
He doesn't think we'll best her in single combat? Yeah, well, I have a free floating skill point I can put into suggestions, so shut up.
Then what does that say? Does it say docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A?
I'm just saying, it's not a good look for the company negotiator to come out, like, dressed into the nines on their own personal boat.
33A? This old proletarian haunt here? As I said, plenty of people drive boats, of all social strata.
I'm just gonna roll a 12.
She takes a sip.
Or we could literally roll the lowest possible.
Okay.
Any moment.
Nothing happens for quite a while.
It will come from my head, the arguments.
As they do.
The thoughts happen inside his brain.
It will help. Wave your head.
Doesn't.
Keep waving your head.
My, it's as if there's a tiny spinner on the side of his head and he's reeling thoughts out.
Except he isn't.
Well, I didn't think it was going to be reaction speed. I thought it would be suggestion or, you know.
The lieutenant is satisfied with where this is going.
A thought is coming out of my head into my mouth and I will say it.
Of course.
Keep doing it.
Lieutenant, I truly don't understand what is happening here.
I told you his methods are unconventional.
Bro, I swear to God, I'm usually sharp. I don't know what's happened. Why am I not killing it?
Your marbles on glass, dear. Don't worry.
What are we talking
It
about?
was quite a while ago, but I think, yes, we were discussing my fast, large, ineluctably middle-class boat.
I should have, no. Let's just think it's a middle class boat. Not anything that big.
Good.
Alright, what do you guys do?
What we do.
Can't believe it was reaction
I'm afraid
speed.
I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
So what do they do?
Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
You guys are loaded.
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
That's a lot.
A billion?
Wow.
20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
Where do they get the
They
billions?
started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lormentang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow.
What?
The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
So you're admitting the employees built the company. Little sus.
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
I mean, you don't keep it moving, the workers do.
We built this district.
Also, we got an achievement that says we're a communist.
We. There it is. She owns up to it.
All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions, the plazas,
Maybe we
Meteor
will
and
become one.
Mosaic. Even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to the investments from the WP.
You know what? Let's do it. Let's accept it. Now, don't ask me any visual calculus questions, lady.
Before Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol, long before Terminal B was erected here, the Pines built it as a resort for its Revacholian employees. A company getaway, for a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution.
Maybe we should have done
But
some of
that's
these
another
questions. I
matter.
wonder if they would have helped on the
I'm
boat
here to
thing.
make sure the Pines can fulfill their responsibilities to the place
But it's
they
too late,
built.
because that was not a white check, so...
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Okay. What can you tell me about the strike? What do they want?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
Okay, what's your role?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
So you don't do anything.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
You mean Measurehead?
Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead.
Okay, how the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
I can't help but notice that you're not really on site, you're sitting on a boat.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime
sound like
pay
the
and a
basics.
medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
I don't know if I would call, like, what should probably be, like, the literal bare minimum, concessions of significant stature.
Ludicrous, even. It's meant.
Okay. What happened to
Mr.
dude?
Clare told him to, how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Not cool.
Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
And you can say the first 2 words, but you don't need to make it like a personal attack.
Sounds like usual aggressive posturing.
Okay. What do they want?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes,
You shouldn't have to think about what they want if you're doing your job.
every worker, a member of the board.
Okay. I mean, it does seem like it'd be a little unwieldy, but, you know, I don't know.
Then you might also like their other slogan, Demand Democracy.
Not hard communist enough for me. I mean, I'm pro-democracy. I think that's cool.
Personally, I don't think it has the same pizazzo as every worker, a member of the board.
What do they mean, though? What's the demand?
It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what? About anything, really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal.
Okay, I don't know if you should require a 100% agreement. If that's what you're saying, that seems ridiculous, but...
Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
Okay. So they're just lobbying for this one terminal to be on the board, and all the other workers can go stuff it? Because that doesn't sound pretty bad. Or that sounds pretty bad. So what are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position. A hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again.
And you should not ever require like a 100% majority if that's... Because that's what it says. It requires the signature of each of the workers. Like you can't just have one guy hold everything up.
And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
I don't know if it advertises aversion to work.
This checks out.
So what about the scabs at the gate?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the Union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least.
So yes, got it.
It's implied she's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Hey, yo, what about Evie?
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
And that's sarcasm?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
There are two of them?
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also
Oh, what if we
talks
weren't talking to
exactly like
Everett
Edgar
earlier? We were
does.
talking to
And when
Edgar.
one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
And what about the union itself outside of the brothers?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
She hesitates, looking for the right expression.
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, we are forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
I mean, the union as a whole is a fine idea. The leadership sounds bad. I don't think you should throw out the whole idea of a union just because, like, some, shady people got into power. Okay, well, she's asking our opinion on the union, not the brothers, so... And I mean, they have one concession, so they're doing their job at least.
Why do you think so?
I don't know about, I can't fault them for a little corruption. I don't like any of these. I don't like any of these. I don't really know what this one means. Are we like pretending to be on their side really coyly for no reason whatsoever?
Well, I suppose that's one way to look at it. They're an interesting composition, albeit vile. But enough about Everard. What else can I do for you?
You said something happened in the elections?
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
Presumably some kind of extortion?
Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of
Alrighty.
course. How else can I help?
So we talked to Everett.
You have. And how
Um,
did you like Mr. Clare?
he's not the champion I've chosen. I swear fealty to you and the cause of capital. I didn't really like him.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually, corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, Verm-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth.
She looks at the ground and nods.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand. The RCM does not pick sides.
I mean, I just didn't like the guy. That doesn't necessarily mean anything about my political beliefs.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt Verm myself.
Lady, you're sipping
However,
coffee
if
on a
you
giant
felt
boat.
like discussing something. How could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
I am not letting her know that I've lost my gun. Absolutely not.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
What can you tell me about the lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57, and this is my colleague from Precinct 41, Detective Dubois.
I don't actually have my badge.
Oh. And what happened to it, Detective?
We lost it in a battle with a paranormal entity.
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
Remember when my partner told you I recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? The lost badge is related to it in my battle with the entity.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
I could have eaten it for all I know. I don't remember anything this world. No, I remember everything.
I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please.
Okay, I don't remember anything. This world, the city, nothing.
Oh dear. I suppose this does explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation.
You talking about when we whirled up our brain to deliver a devastating retort that exposed you as bourgeoisie?
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize. But I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Can't we just go stand over here and while you talk to...
She's a professional
Ooh.
negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Okay, I mean, I think that's... I guess you can't ever get 100% chance to pass a skill check. Pities your boat failure. Nice.
She's a negotiator. Just float a favor at her. Insinuates.
Surely there's some other way to demonstrate our law enforcement credentials.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
Okay, what about our gut? What about our,
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
We're wearing a police coat.
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason.
They're profiting from this trade.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Okay, one sec. Gotta talk to our best friend. Hello.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
How did you hope it would go?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchman.
I thought it was going so well.
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
Did we?
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation.
I mean, what do you propose? That we don't investigate the drug trafficking?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we're siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for her information on the lynching.
Okay. Sorry about that.
I'm sure you will, Detective.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
What about these
That's
tattoos?
the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
How... Well, I mean, it's a lynching. I don't really... And we can see that it's a dead body. How do you... So you know something about the tattoos?
Better not tie the fourth day to the Bat's day on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
Okay, so about this drug
It's
trafficking.
quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samaran Isla into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Okay, and you want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
Am I gonna need bolt cutters?
Unlikely, officer. I'm talking about the lorries. Once the ingredients reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers, well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they may be vulnerable.
Okay.
Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment. I'll be explicit.
Oh, hopefully we
If
can
you
find
this
the... Hopefully it's the
driver,
racist guy.
I will share
We
company
can get his
secrets
ass.
with you.
You'll be indebted to her, in a way, but one step ahead of the Union in another.
What proof do you have the Union is involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the fourth month straight.
Maybe they're just built different.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
Do you think the strike is being funded with source ingredients for drugs?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
Well, there is our friend buddy.
It sounds like she tried looking into it herself, though she's clearly not the type your typical lorry man would confide in.
Why didn't you come to the RCM earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this
That
area
doesn't sound
falls
like us.
under.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
Hey, well, see ya.
Yes?
Alright, fine, we'll do it.
Excellent.
The Jam Mystery,
According to my
yo,
report,
it's got a cool
there
name.
are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something.
We know 2 of
It
them.
may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open.
We'll
I
probably just
suspect
try and frame the
traffic jam
racist
won't
guy.
disperse for a few more
If
days.
possible.
You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
She takes another long sip from her seemingly bottomless thermal cup.
Of course, Detective. Take care.
She's got the secret, just like the infinite sandwich guy. Okay. We have another skill point, another floating skill point. Because we were learning how to be a communist. I don't want to talk to you. You were mean to me.
Hey!
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked.
Knock,
The
knock.
door rattles against your knuckle.
Knock,
The door
knock.
rattles again. But this time, you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
She's the one who did it.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not letting any more strangers inside.
Well, who am I speaking to?
Doesn't matter who I am. Now go on, get out of here.
It's the police?
Ha! The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here.
I'm not joking.
No. I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Backyard door. There must be another entrance to the east.
Alright, fine. What do you want, you little monster?
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
Yeah, okay.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I mean, look at the red. It's already kind of flowing.
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
When were you last tested?
Had a battery of tests just last week. I'm practically a patchwork of interesting critters. Kinda like a man-o'-war.
Despite the attitude, she puts the brush aside.
She's grown frustrated with her work and welcomes the opportunity to challenge authority in other ways.
Okay. What are you looking at?
The lieutenant is desperately searching for another handkerchief.
What? What are you talking about? You just read the wrong line, Mr. Narrator. She turns her head to face the coast and nods disdainfully towards Joyce, performing maintenance on her boat.
Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
You mean Joyce?
On a first-name basis with her, are we? Piggy's moving up in the world.
What's this on?
It's where they grow whores like her. And they're whoremen.
A little rude. Wow, the negativity.
Have you got a crush on her? Aching for an opportunity to defend her honor.
What's she doing on the wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit.
Where are all the normal people in the world?
I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
You don't know what to write.
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cards. And my name's not Mona, so...
She wants it to be something true and total.
Okay, why are you committed to defacing the building?
This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium. I thought I'd mix it up, you know. Summon the
Ooh.
forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation.
I have an opinion.
Yeah?
I mean, I don't mind graffiti if it's well done.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
She means the opposite. You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
Hell yeah. You know anything about the murder?
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Okay.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
And by shortage, you mean there's none.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
What about the murder victim's missing armor?
What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells?
Isn't armor art for the body?
Ugh, alright. Sad piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military
Where's the
grade
fishing
handwear.
village?
Look cute as hell.
Maybe that's to the south?
If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. Have a good time.
Got it.
Piggy, I have no idea why I just told you that. You look like a shaggy dog left in the rain for too long. I have a weakness for animals. Watch
Okay.
your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
We defeated the most powerful man in Revachol, so we're good. Now, was it a lucky shot? Maybe. Were we fueled by the power of alcohol? Maybe. The garden hose. This won't be of use until the snow melts. Chairs and tables eaten by rain and rot. Another splattering of bullet holes in the wall. $20. Reaction speed. Health. Now, I don't know which one's which. Or like what these lead to. Because one of these is probably Kuno's place and the other is the weasel. Say anything?
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette.
I mean, he looks like he's
eyes have been
45.
following you for a while.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
Despite the cold, his shirt button hangs unbuttoned on his frame. Or his shirt hangs unbuttoned. No trouble from me.
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Yeah, but we're like cool.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Well, we do need to talk to you.
Is it really that important?
Like a nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighboring windows.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
Well, first off, what's your name?
My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
Okay, that doesn't seem true.
That's definitely not his real name.
You're not actually called Martin Martinez.
No, of course not. Could you please lower your voice?
He scans the courtyard. It's silent like the bottom of a well. Every sound captured and reflected back.
Ask him again.
I need your name.
And I really need to finish this cigarette.
But he hasn't left yet.
Alright, but I need your name.
And I really...
But he hasn't left yet.
But I need your name.
I'd even go so far as to say that the view is a little too good, my dear gendarme. Do you have an estimate of when the body will be taken away?
I don't know, when the crows get it.
We will remove the body as soon as possible. Now tell us, where were you last Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
I'm pretty sure I didn't.
No, not you. Some more muscular type.
And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
Lieutenant takes out his little blue notebook and writes something down.
Last week? I don't know. Look.
He looks around the courtyard again. Old patio chairs and dead houseplants litter the scene.
He's an actor declaiming a soliloquy. See how you hang on his every word?
You didn't answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday?
I had a friend over.
What kind of friend?
It was my Sunday friend.
Makes sense. Friends are nice on Sunday. You don't have to work. You can just spend time with pals, watching rugby and drinking beer.
What's your friend's real name? Was he Martin Martinez too?
He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. In the neighboring windows, you can see faint reflections of his silhouette, all from different angles.
Can I get inside the apartment building?
Help you? No, sorry, gendarme. I have to run.
Okay, see ya.
No. We won't.
He takes one last drag of his cigarette before stubbing it out on the
Now, if
balcony.
you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
This isn't the place or time for questions. Who knows who might be watching from the distance? hidden behind the curtains.
Just trying to make things okay. Can we meet again somewhere?
For a moment, the man on the balcony seems almost vulnerable. Something moves in the depths of his feline eyes. Compassion and a hint of understanding.
I am sorry, but I really don't have the information you're looking for.
With the flick of his wrist, he sends the cigarette butt sailing over the rail. Can I sell that?
But, hold on. What's that? For a split second, his hand lingers, as though gesturing towards a stone placed right next to the front door.
A key!
It's a sign.
Good luck with the investigation.
He walks away. Very slowly.
He's gone.
We should run after him.
No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself.
So we just give up?
He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who's asking about our case. He
Okay.
did leave us a sign. Did you see that? He wanted to draw our attention to that stone right over there.
Lieutenant nods towards a small rock.
If we find a way inside the building, we can ask around for his apartment.
Got it.
A stone like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet and mud. Maybe there's something under it.
Turn it over.
There's a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt.
This must be for the front door. Pity doesn't have the apartment number on it. This building has many apartments and the man can be in any of them.
How are we gonna find the right one?
We'll just have to go in and see.
Okay. Well, I think this is an okay place to stop. Next time we will, I don't know, start exploring the upper side then that we've learned how to do the very hard task of going around a corner past the fog of war. Guy's still just hanging out, man. He's still just hanging. But yeah, we'll explore some more next time. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.